The number of Palestinians being killed by Israeli forces while waiting for food is going up by the hour. More than 40 people have died since dawn on Wednesday across Gaza, at least 14 of them while seeking aid at the controversial centres backed by Israel and the US. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees has described the distribution centres as death traps. Well, for the very latest, we're joined by Hani Mahmoud, who's in Gaza City. Hani, can you just explain why people are lining up, even at the risk of being killed? Is it out of sheer desperation right now?
Well, Tom, after 3 months of suffocating blockade, zero entry of much-needed aid and survival items, it's becoming clear in each passing day that it's a matter of survival and less about the risk that people are taking. A lot of people here, they know they might not come back. They know they're going to this site. They might also not come back with any flowers, with any bag of flowers or any of the survival items or basic food supplies, let alone dying at the center. But they have no other options. The more we talk to people, the more we realize this is the only motivation right now behind them taking the risk and showing up at these centers despite the danger, despite the risk that they are taking. And for better understanding of what's going on inside these centers, we're joined by one of the aid seekers who happened to be a lawyer as well as a lecturer at one of the local universities, but find himself forced to be at these centers on a daily basis to find food supplies and bring them back to his family who are sheltering in one of the displacement sites. We're joined by Mr. Faiz Hassan, an aid seeker from the northern part of the Strip who walks almost on a daily basis close to 10 kilometers to the GHF centers.
Thank you for your time. I start by asking you the main reason. What's the main motivation to head to the food distribution on a daily basis despite the high risks? Frankly speaking, since the Israeli occupation forces belligerence on Gaza started and the total blockade to Gaza, we have all the population in Gaza have been suffering starvation, absence of basic supplies and medical supplies. We have no other option but to go and get our hands on any food despite the high risks. We need you to put us in the picture. How is it look like within the food distribution? How do you feel when you feel the bullets zooming and jet fighters hovering above your hands? Before establishing these food distribution centers, we have been suffering. We start venturing out at about 12 o'clock midnight, risking our lives. We are expecting to be shot at any point of time. We are surrounded by Israeli jet fighters and quadcopters. Many of them are having machine guns mounted on them. In addition to that, the positions of the Israeli occupation forces are shelling us with artillery and tank shells, in addition to the opening of gunfires. Crowds of thousands, more than 250,000, up to 500,000, are flocking to the only center, food distribution center in the Gaza Strip. What is graver in danger are the quadcopter or the Israeli drones that are opening fire indiscriminately on the crowd, despite the fact that none of the civilian population among these crowds are posing any danger. We are headed towards the American food distribution, which we call the death traps. The Israeli quadcopters, drones, are opening fire randomly and indiscriminately on the civilian population. Apart from that, the Israeli warships are opening fire and also shelling us from the sea. We are walking into death traps, facing death every single minute. The distribution centers open their doors 6 o'clock in the morning, during which, through those hours, we face death. Based on your narrative, the main reason you go and risk your life is the family depending on you. You are getting out there to get some a loaf of bread for your family. How many members are there in your family, and what are you trying to bring back home? I have a family of 6. 2 of them are with disability. Unfortunately, we do not have any support. I am 56 years old. I have no other alternative but to head to the food distribution center. The first thing that comes to my head is flour. I wish to get my hand on some flour to make some food for some bread for my family. Also, I try to get some canned food, oils, or any sweets. We are losing energy. For years, we haven't had any protein or any basic nutrition. We are starving, facing hunger. My children are suffering malnutrition. I myself lost 35 kilograms. I can hardly climb the stairs. My children are starving to death. The average food they are having is half a loaf of bread. I am an engineer working as a forensic expert. I also a lawyer. My wife is a math teacher. I have a daughter and son. One of them is an engineer and the other is a doctor. We are ill-treated in these food distribution centers, and this adds insult to injury. Many of the food items are even being withheld. We are giving very inferior food, the type of cheese that can only be put to the mouse traps. Not only the Israeli occupation forces killing our people randomly, as hundreds are falling on daily basis. About 100 civilians are killed on daily basis, starving to death, trying to get some food. Even we have seen many of the dead bodies lying on the road, bloated and reeking, even devoured by the stray dogs. The American soldiers or the American staff working on the distribution of aid have no mercy. They even try to target the crowds with the pepper sprayers. They are ill-treating us. This is a living proof that this aid is not meant to lend a helping hand to our people, yet it is nothing but a death trap. Final question, and in brief, please. Does it come to your head that you may go and never come back? What about the fate of your family members? On daily basis, it is a daily suffering. I expect to die every single day. I swear to God, if anything happens to me, my family members will die. I leave behind a family of 6 starving to death, and the average meal of each of them is half a loaf of bread. And this defies humanity. The entire world has lost humanity. I regret to say that the Palestinian people are falsely depicted as monsters, beasts, not human beings. This is a smear in the face of humanity. It is a disgrace on the global community. The Israeli occupation forces have no justification for this excessive violence, daily systematic methodological killing. We, apart from that, we walk on foot long distances, surrounded by death from all directions, shelling, bullets, jet fighters, drones, and what adds insult to injury is what we see in the food distribution centers, despite the fact that we are all peaceful civilian population.
So, as we heard from Mr. Hassan, a vivid and accurate description of what's going on inside the distribution center is very consistent with what we have been hearing and learning from eyewitnesses and people who showed up at these centers. There is nothing relief about what's going on at these centers. Rather, have turned largely into death traps for the hungry and displaced civilian population.
Hani, as always, thanks so much for bringing us the reality on the ground there in Gaza. Hani Mahmoud for us in Gaza City.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.